Good morning, you're welcome to Political Insight today. My name is Bena Hionofe. It's nice for you to join us on the show today. Well, I have an amazing personality here with me in the studio in person of Professor J.U Iyasele, Vice Chairman from 2010 to 2018, and the ASUU Chairman from 2014 to 2018, and the immediate past ASUU Chairman, Uniben Chapter, and currently serving as the Head of Department Chemistry from the University of Benin. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. It is a great flattering. But good morning, viewers.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
It's so nice to have you in our studio
I'm
today.
also happy to be here. I think it's a rebound. I've been here before.
Oh,
Yeah.
Once again, thank you so much for having us
Yeah.
here. I see there is a lot to talk about today, talking about the race between ASUU and the federal government.
Our principals.
Of course, a lot has been said, a lot is to be said.
Yeah.
Currently, what is your general impression of the situation on ground about tertiary universities, tertiary education in Nigeria currently?
Of course, it's bewildering. Bewildering because it appears we're in a country where the rulers are trying to shirk responsibility. That is gradually, closing up what is called social responsibility to the people.
Yeah.
And so it's been there over the years that the university infrastructure and whatever are all ailing, decadence, left, right, and center, and all that. And of course, if you care at all, since many of us work in that system, you won't be happy, because as a laborer, you should be worried about the tool you use in dispensing responsibility. And so, seeing all of this going down and standard waning, the next thing was to cry out. And from the 90s, we cried out. And then by 2009, after 4 complete years of negotiation, federal government acceded to an agreement.
Yes.
And promised that after every 3 years, they will return back to the negotiating table and all that. But the shock we have is that we have a country you cannot hold to their agreement. And I just think that is shameful, because I don't know how international community, even if we are not complaining, we rate our leaders in Nigeria. That you will go into an agreement with people, you won't have the temerity to meet with that agreement. And so it's been on and on until it came to a head on February 14 this year. We went on strike, they seized our salaries, and then got their instruments of government. The court has now become an arm of presidency, and then used the court to force us back to work. And as a responsible group of people, we have to listen to the court. If we were to act in tandem or act the way they do, because the same court severally would have taken decisions, arrive at judgment, and ask government, this is what you are to do, they will refuse to abide by that agreement. The recent is that you have seen the judgment in Kanu's case.
Yes.
They are asked, international interested, every party, yet federal government is refusing to release Kanu. But it's that same time they got the garage judgment against us that we should return back to work. I went on an appeal. A court of competent jurisdiction, in quotes, now said, before you appeal, go and obey. And so that's militarization. I know that is the word of the military army, obey before complain. But however, let me cite an incident. Is it possible that one has been committed to death by court, and the man says, no, you are wrong in your judgment, let me appeal? You now tell such a man, go and die first before you come back. Yes, obey before you come back. So if you put all of these together, we see that we're likely to be dealing with people who have lost touch with time. So that is the current situation in the country.
But you see, the federal government, part of the things they always said, using proxies like the Minister of Labour, Ndige, and the Minister of Education, Adamu, they are of the opinion that they were not the ruling party as at 2009, and they should not be held accountable rather, as per the agreement that was made, and they are feeling sort of, should we say, nonchalant as per the negotiation between ASUU and them, because they feel like, why should I even uphold or pay this money when we're not? Do you think in their defense they are right, like to an extent, about the whole agreement? Because there's this emerging body, CONWA, and it feels like if under the right amount of pressure, some lecturers will just dance to the tune of CONWA, and federal government will proceed arrangements with CONWA and not ASUU, thereby neglecting ASUU.
We have seen 1 million march in this country. You know the implications of things like that. You will always have a fifth columnist in any system. That is the story of CONWA. Let me not delve so much. But, however, the government is shaking responsibility of what another administration did. It is heart-rending. Because government is supposed to be a continuum. You and I knows. I am currently head of department of chemistry, University of Benin. It is mine, now that I'm sitting on that stool, it now falls on me to accept whatever had been done in the past. Because you are now sitting there. So if you come in as a government, anyway, I'm sure that is why you find that there are so many uncompleted structures littering everywhere in the country, because a government will come and then, because the 10% has been collected for that, they will run away from it. And so it is like that one that had made very serious impact in their memory, and I say, okay, that is another administration. It should be. Government is supposed to be a continuum. Once you sit in a position, you assume you are now a custodian of whatever your colleagues have done in the past and all that. So what they have said is very, very wrong. But however, if they are saying what was done by other administrations, what are you now saying? What are the one that you have even said? You know, the several times that these people have nominated or constituted a committee to discuss with ASUU. Over 2 or 3 times, this same government have. People came with an agreement. Then what have they done? The last was in March this year. Then what have you done with the agreement that you went into if you are not agreeing with what other people did? Yeah. So where are we? Then
just proceed, because before I even ask a particular question, recently, because it's not just yesterday or so, lecturers in Benin, Uniben, went on this lecture-free day in agitation towards the half salaries paid in October. And part of the negotiation put on the table between the federal government and ASUU, they requested that for 8 months of the strike, that their salaries ought to be paid. Yep. I know that the federal government said 420 billion naira will be included in the 2023 budget as more like pacifying ASUU. But it's more like federal government still went ahead to pay half salaries in the month of October. What's your opinion about that? How do you even feel? And do you think that there will be another strike this year to follow up with that decision made by the government?
Well, the protest of yesterday is to also help to sensitize the public, to at least tell people that we are not pleased with what is happening. In this country, one of the greatest problems that we have is that people do not know how to protest.
Don't know how to protest.
Yes, you must learn. This country, whoever you have in this, should learn to say no to whatever is going on.
Okay.
Because it's like we just accept everything hook, line, and sinker. And so these people are just carrying on thinking that what they are doing. It is a little boy that started the Arab Spring, that went through, that raised down many countries in in the East. So we shouldn't sit down when things are wrong. Anywhere you are, you should be able to say no. You should be able to correct, even while walking along the road. You should be able to say, why should that happen? That is the way we can correct this society. That is activating people to learn to say no when things happen. We shouldn't keep quiet. We know as if everything is okay. That is the way, that is why these people are carrying on the way they are carrying on. But however, the house salary, or the Uselu market woman will call it Hassa, you know, that is it, what is it? Let me tell you that the pre and post incidents of our strike, that is a cataclysm. Let me tell you, it's catastrophic, and then, you know, it is of monumental, a disaster of monumental proportion. That is what, because what these people want to do eventually is withdraw from all social responsibility to the people. That is what we are saying. And then you cannot create road. You don't have road. You can't build roads. No roads anymore. No water flows from any tap in this country now. Then, if they were the ones supplying light and air, they would have seized it long time. They would have. Then what social responsibility? Simple education you cannot provide for the citizens of this country, because that is where we are going. The idea of seizing our salary is to criminalize strike, which is what we think that a country should teach her people. Why do you have civil liberties organization? Why do you have such right groups put in place? They are to be able to correct you. A government that is not open to correction will eventually end up in doom. That is
of doom,
yes.
Professor Osodeke recently said something about certain political officials trying to privatize those public universities. So I want you to say something on that when we come back from this break. Okay. So please, guys, don't go anywhere. Do join us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. I still have Professor J.U Iyasele with me in the studio. Sir, do you think, because based on the statement by Professor Osodeke, he said that certain political officials are trying to privatize those public universities?
That is where we are going to. Because ever since we've been crying and crying about the number of private universities that they are establishing. All of them, these politicians, many of them now, the next thing they do now as constituency project is to establish a university for themselves. That is what we are having left, right, and center. The idea is to commercialize education. And then you and I knows that the average child in this country from average home cannot afford private university. You know that. If you go to some of the private university, if you have to read medicine, you spend a minimum of 4 to 6 million naira per annum. And then you are paying the same, the parents of these children, just 30,000 naira a month. That, because that is minimum wage.
Yes,
that is for states that have domesticated it, because so many of them have not domesticated. So some are still any less than that. And then you will now want to ask yourself, who are those who will be able to afford private university? The idea is, I've said, is commercialization of education. These people don't want to shoulder any social responsibility to the people. Like I said, you look at it now. There's no water flowing out of government taps. There is no road anywhere. Then school, the only one you were shouldering a little now, you want to take it back, and you ask yourself, This is an OPEC oil producing country, a member of OPEC. You ask all members of OPEC, what do they do for their citizens? You compare it and know that if you go to UAE, you don't even see the women. They don't work. So many countries like that. You go to the Nordic countries that are most peaceful in this country. I'm talking about countries like Iceland, Denmark, Finland, and all that. These are peaceful countries. All they know they do, what they know or what they do is to make education almost free. It's free in those countries. You go to look at Germany here. You have the most industrialized. One of the most industrialized is Germany. There is go and check what the children pay as school fees, and then the lecturers are paid. But most times we are trying to compare ourselves to Britain and then America. But you and I, you know that there are, some other social engagements that they have to their citizens. You understand? That a student can be given loans to go through school, and they know that automatically when that student comes out of school, they will give the student a job, and then he's able to pay back such loans. Do you understand? Yes. Then there's what they call even unemployment benefits, so that if you don't even have any job, the money you earn free. So what is it that this country, what is it that you have to give back to citizens for being an oil producing nation? And then we are just here every day. You hear billions of naira stolen out of government coffers, and nobody is bothered about it. It is like, when you are in a government office now, you take whatever you meet in that place, and then it's okay by everybody.
I know it's disheartening because professors, universities, lecturers, and what have you, they are really earning, we could call that meager amounts compared to what...
Miserable, call it miserable amount. Okay,
miserable amounts compared to what public officials are earning. Let's just say politicians.
Yes.
And it's more like an average, just say a professor in any university is not even earning up to $1 million naira.
What do you know? I'm here as a professor. My take home is 368,000 naira a month. I say it anywhere I go to. By God's grace, I've been able to find myself some other things I can do. But what I take home as a professor is 368,000 naira a month. I've been a professor for over 7 years.
And your salary has been the same?
Yes.
No improvement?
But how can it improve? Now, is that not why we're asking that it's not possible? That was why government was supposed to come back to a negotiating table after every 3 years.
Do you even see the government even meeting to your demands? Almost seems like, of course, 2023 election is coming February, and it feels like they are just trying to have this safe landing. And do you think that your demands will even be met? Some will even be met before the election, because it seems like they want to transfer responsibilities to the next government. That is obvious.
It is obvious that these people, they don't have capacity for governance. Do you understand? The problem we have is that we don't have a critical way of assessing. You see now there are candidates also inkling now to go to government. They are pushing by any means, and you know what happens? You still find that some persons are fixated. Party fixation, money fixation, and all of that. You are not thinking largely for the people. What can happen? That is why the stupidity of a Nigerian going to build one mansion in somewhere without access to the road. But meanwhile, the white man will build one tiny house on a very large land with trees, you understand, to live long, and then you have beautiful road leading to it. At the end of it, even if it's a thatched house you have built in such a place, the house will be fine because the road, the environment, everything. But Nigerian system is still like, listen, let me tell you, I have said before that this country is an inverted pyramid. Do you understand? Yeah. It's a country that is upside down. What we are supposed to consider as important, that is what, let me tell you, when students even feel jam form now to come into the university, courses like what we teach, do you understand, are not considered by students. You understand? Chemistry. Everybody wants to read.
Let's talk about this country.
Look, let me tell you. I'm telling you that this country is upside down. There is a problem. I'm sure it's spiritual. Do you understand? Because If you look around your studio here now,
Yeah.
anything here is a chemical. Anything here starts from, things you can use chemistry to produce whatever you have here. If a student graduates from chemistry, if he knows what he's doing, he won't look for a job anywhere. Do you understand?
The thing is that the students even know what they are doing, because before they'll say we don't want half-baked graduate. I know that they are lesser than even half-baked graduate, because I need you to address two things. The students here right now, they say when two elephants are fighting, the ground will suffer.
Yeah.
The students are suffering.
Yes.
As a professor in the prestigious University of Benin,
Yeah.
first of all, my question to you is why the crumbling of the academic calendar? The semester, normally a session is meant to run for 10 months, thereabouts, but the resumption of October 14th and students being asked to write exams in December, and then merging everything under 2 months. How do you think students are going to assimilate everything that is meant to even happen, what they are reading, going to classes? They even said some lecturers, they will come to teach them because of what's on ground. Do you think that they are even going to even come out to say that they even know what they are reading, or they are bona fide members of a university because they literally read the course?
Yes, let me tell you, the first week we opened, even when we accepted to go to class with hunger, we didn't find students. You have heard the language, say education don't cast. Have you not heard their students say that? It's like because the value system is poisoned. Everything is now monetization. The speech I gave yesterday in our Congress, I said monetization has killed this country. Everything is money. You want to buy somebody food now, you say monetize it. Do you understand? Money, money, money. The Bible says fame and wealth, fame and riches. It's not talking only about money, riches. There are other things, you understand? And I was asking them, supposing our reward system is in gold, maybe there's precious metal with which they pay you at the end of the month, was it going to be possible for government to come and withhold it and all that? So the students themselves the certification they are looking for. All this one I are saying now is a few that will complain. Many won't come to class. We have tutorial system, different things that we have approved for to train students. You won't even see them. You won't see students. They won't come. They are locked away in their various rooms and all that. So that is the first problem. You won't blame those who still want to learn. Because this same time now, we were in school before we went on strike. We had gone close to a month before we went on strike. I hope you know.
Yes.
So, and a semester runs for about 3 months or thereabout, between 3 to 4. It's not more than 4. You understand? Like marking everything concluded within that set time. So we won't blame the lecturer, the timing. All this we are also trying to do is to also help the students help the student. You understand? So that there wouldn't have been much lost time. That is the essence. But a child that sits down, I have some of them in school. I'm shouting my throat dry, even in my own house, of that they should engage their reading. I've told them you'll be able to know many things when you read the book. When you go into reading, you see so many things. I do some diagnosis myself. I'm not a medical doctor. Do you understand? Before I will know, look at what is going, because I've read white. So why is it some student will blame? You won't blame the system, because the system is now they're trying to. People bothered about those who are even coming to do the work within that time. The lecturers. Do you understand? Let me tell you. 2 days ago, okay, I was presenting some colleagues for promotion. I have to be at the faculty board to defend the promotions I was presenting. At that same time, I was representing the vice chancellor in Faculty of Education Promotion Board. At that same time, I'm supposed to be a member of a committee looking into some university problems, because we were investigating some theft issues. Yes. This same time, only me, and then I have to be in the department to sign papers to make sure that classes are running and things are going on well. That is the much or the list of what I can remember now to tell you that myself alone would have been doing so from some days ago. So if you look at all of this, well, is it the students alone we are talking about? The lecturers are suffering. Lecturers are suffering and we are crying. You know, you're talking about this. See, if you go to some important clients now, exposed clients, on your wall, you have a kind of there is a board, what you call a Google board. Yeah. If you are trying to teach anything now, you will click on a Google board. Yeah, then you can see smart board. Yes, you will see anything in the world to give. It's Montessori education. Suppose I was teaching rubber chemistry. Then I'm able to click on the board in the class to show students that is a rubber plantation, Hevia brasiliensis. After that, I show them the processing of tapping, the way they process rubber into shoe soles, different things, into a car tire, and all of that. They visualizing alone is enough for them to see them. Converting it to, yes, they will learn more. Is that not what we are crying? Is there in many countries where you won't find a Google board?
Sir, a lot has been said, and a lot will still be said because this matter, I feel this issue is far from.
It's a Armageddon. It's a Armageddon, a war without end.
And it's very disheartening, I would say. But what's the way forward? Because the protest being done, strike, everything, lecturers, obviously, they are still suffering, they are still hurt, they are still angry, and the federal government are still indecisive as per the next decision. But what's the way forward for the ASUU right now? The
way forward is that as the government are strategizing to stab us in the daylight, we are equally strategizing because this country belongs to all of us. It does not belong to the politicians, those people who are there. You are paying me a salary of less than a councillor in a local government. And then when in the 60s, when the colonial masters were leaving this country, after the president, after the chief justice of the federation, the next in line is the salary of a professor. Now you have pauperized us because you don't like education. And then it's here to state, to let people know that no country grows beyond a level of education. The people are going to the moon. There is a hotel in the space now. $5 million a night. Somebody has been able to build a hotel in another planet. Yeah. Do you understand? And you know, Nigerians have the money. They will soon access the hotel there. You know, the best cars in the world are in Nigeria here. And meanwhile, there's no industrialization. This is a country, a fake country has been developed by politicians. You know why I call it a fake country? Because there is increased urbanization with de-industrialization. Then this has been made possible from also terrorism, and then you have decreased agricultural productivity. So there is a fake country being put in place. In other climes, what improves urbanization are the things that that the country here has killed, and yet you find population of people coming here, and are there industries in Benin anymore? I don't think we have.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Well, a lot has been said. Thank you so much, sir, for illuminating us and sharing enough light on certain areas concerning the rift between the ASUU and the federal government. Good education in any country cannot be overemphasized because a good working condition or good working conditions for lecturers and good enabling environment for students will lead to possible better reality. Thank you so much, Professor Iyasele. Nice to have you. Yeah, I'm still Benahi Onofe. Ensure you join this conversation across our social media platforms on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. This is still Political Insight. Thank you so much. See you next time.